Dear students, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Plant Systematics class. After having uploaded several videos of first semester and third semester BS Botany course or classes, I was constantly approached by various students of fifth semester, and their demand was to upload videos regarding plant systematics. The course contents that are part of the fifth semester BS Botany. And one of their demand was to upload videos regarding the families which are part of the course contents. So today we are going to start Angiosperm families which are given in the course content of fifth semester plant systematics in the BS Botany. There are about 27 or so families. So we are going to describe those families, and we start with the Apiaceae or the carrot family. Its previous name or older name was Umbelliferae. Since this name was not according to the rules of nomenclature or the ICN International Code of Nomenclature, previously ICBN International Code of Botanical Nomenclature. So various names, older names of different families like Umbelliferae, they were revised and they were given new names such as this one, Apiaceae. So it was Umbelliferae and now it is known as Apiaceae. However, you will find in the literature its old name. There are still many books and websites which still refer to this family by its old name, which is Umbelliferae. As the older name indicates, Umbelliferae, umbel, because this is the inflorescence, the typical inflorescence of this family, Umbelliferae family. So Apiaceae, because of its type genus, Apium. Okay, so how we are going to start the description of this family and obviously subsequent families, or how we'll be doing this, the description of the families. Now this is a very difficult task as far as describing a family is concerned, because the description usually contains all the descriptive terms which are part of description of a family or a genus or a species. So we will be mostly confronted with various morphological terms, taxonomic terms to describe the family. So I shall try my level best as far as the description of the family is concerned to present this description in as simple form as possible, and I'll make it as much understandable as possible. But before starting the description of the family or before going further, the student must be familiar with the morphological terminology which we will use during this description or description of the families. The morphology of the angiosperms, as far as our BS Botany curriculum is concerned, was discussed, if you remember, back in your second semester. So the second semester contains a wealth of terminology, and hopefully the student might be familiar with that terminology. Various books are available, especially the one that I use most frequently, and also I recommend that book for the students as well. And this is the book, Plant Identification Terminology. As you can see, its name. It is basically an illustrated glossary. It contains a wealth of information, all the various terms that are used in describing a plant or a family and so forth. So this is very handy book, a must-have book for students who are studying taxonomy or description, especially for the practical work as well as theoretical work when you have to describe a family or a plant or order, genus, whatever the case might be. So this is a very good book, Plant Identification terminology. We also have a glossary of terms at the end of a very famous book, uh, Taxonomy of Vascular Plants by Lawrence. So it's a very comprehensive glossary at the end of that particular book, and hopefully I am going to share that glossary with you as well. And that is the glossary of illustrated glossary of various botanical and taxonomic terms. I shall try my level best to uh, present the description as well as explain various terms that will be used during the description, like the description of, for example, root and stem and leaf and flower and inflorescence and so forth. But obviously, describing a family is not a very easy task because there are many terms that are related, and obviously they are used again and again in the description of the families that we are going to go through, inshallah, in our future videos. So sometimes it is very confusing, and it just can happen that it all gets mixed up. So you can very easily mix up the description of, suppose now we are going to discuss a Apiaceae with, for example, another family like Brassicaceae or any other family, especially when the descriptions are somewhat related. So what we are going to do in this particular description, as we have been doing in describing the morphology of various parts, like in the first semester videos, that uh, the taxonomic position of the family, its order and so forth, its position in the plant kingdom, because most of our discussion will be angiospermic families, and we are not going to discuss families of other plants like pteridophytes or gymnosperms. Mostly it will be angiosperms and dicot families, and there will be a few or a couple of monocot families as well. So taxonomic position, and next obviously will be its description. But before describing it, before presenting the description, uh, what we are going to do is to discuss the family's diagnostic or distinguishing characters. So diagnostic and distinguishing characters will be discussed as well before the start of the general characters of the family. So diagnostic characters are distinguishing characters, and then we are going to discuss the general characters of the family. But as I have been saying again and again, all the students who are interested in studying families of the angiosperms or plant families or their description, they are encouraged to please go through the various description terminology. The book which I have mentioned, if this book is not available to you, the internet or the World Wide Web is full of various glossaries and websites which have these taxonomic terms, and obviously I am going to share those links with you as well. Uh, and one thing is that whenever you are going to describe a family, you have to go through its description point by point, character by character, and try to describe that character yourself. For example, if we are going through leaf and simple leaf or compound leaf, and we are discussing the various forms of compound leaf, or many other characters of leaf like its shape or its margin or its apex or base and so forth. And the same will be the situation with other characters of the family like flowers, and obviously flower has a whole lot of description because we are going to, or we will be discussing the various parts of the flower, from its position, uh, the characters of the flower itself, like for example it is hermaphrodite or bisexual and actinomorphic and so forth, and its various floral parts, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So it can be a very daunting task, a very difficult task if taken casually, but if you dive deep into it, and since uh, we have just arrived at a point in time or a season where plenty of plants will be available in near future, because it's January and soon spring will start. In fact, it has almost started in our areas and various plants are available, and soon they will be blossoming, and we will also have the flowers at our disposal. So the students are encouraged to not only go through the descriptions point by point, character by character, and also to take the common plants of the family and describe them as well. So it will help them a whole lot than simply going through the theory. When you study a plant, take a plant, if the plant is at your disposal, it's right in front of you, and if you go through the characters, so you can easily memorize them or remember them instead of just memorizing it word by word, because it can be very confusing and sometimes it gets intimidating. A word of caution, since it's all description and it's all description terminology, the characters, and since they are repeated again and again, don't be overwhelmed. Don't consider that it is you cannot do it, or this is not doable, or something which is impossible, or something which cannot be done, or which is so to say impossible. This is not the case. If you are new to taxonomy, or if you are new to description terminology, obviously uh, it is going to disturb you in the beginning, or it might become very difficult for you. But don't lose heart, and you will have to work hard. So with these remarks, inshallah, in the next video we are going to start the description of this family, the family Apiaceae. So hopefully in this particular video, it was just a guideline, a very basic guideline, a very simple, a few words of advice for you, how to go through these description of families, or how to make your life easier. So hopefully our discussion of these families will be fun and engaging, and it will be a learning session for all of us, for me as well, and for you. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video with the description of family Apiaceae.